You know, Kesha has the uncanny ability to talk about black men in a most negative way, talk about how they not up to the task for when it comes to dating, how, these black men want them to settle for less, point out their flaws. They love doing this, and they do it so well to the point where they had people believing that black men were not as productive or even as close to as productive as everybody else. But now you're starting to see the shift. Social media has been Kesha's biggest downfall because it's showing the world that they're liars. So if you see that they're liars, hey, if they was lying about everything they do, is it possible they could have been lying about black men? Then they started seeing who's the real face of criminality, who's the one that's out there being dysfunctional, and started realizing, hey, black men aren't anything that Kesha was saying. And then you start seeing how much of a Brad worshiper they are. And this Kesha right here, right? And Kesha is the same globally. Don't matter if she's from the UK, the Caribbean, over here, North America. She's the same. This is what she's responding to. This one right here. Listen, look at this right here. Wait, you're trying to give advice when you dated a racist man and was still in contact with him and even tried to tell another girl. Weird. This is what she's responding to right now. Well, let's see what she has to say about this.
Ooh, respectfully, no one's trying to give you advice. If anyone is taking advice from me, your life is about to look like Boo Boo the Fool. Don't do it. I need to put that in my bio. No one is giving any advice. I am just telling stories. Now, this question has come up a lot. Like, why were you still friends with him? Now, here's the gist. Not that you asked this question, but this is interesting. How can I explain it? Do you know how many women, specifically dark-skinned black women in my life at the time were like, keep being his friend, he may change his mind. Girl, I wish I was lying. There was so much of that advice. Someone else in the comment thread from...
Now, if you hear what this tennis ball is saying, she's saying the same thing that black men say all the time. Keisha's just telling her, hey, listen here, tennis ball. You and the rest of us tennis balls, we really don't look at him as a bad person. That's just out of anger. You should just, sit it out. Just don't look at it, because this is what they usually do. Oh, black men do worse. Brad gets a pass for everything with just the simple saying of black men do even worse. But where? Where? You can't run that no more. So you got to prove. You can't just say things no more. People are on to you. People are seeing how you give Brad a pass. And people are seeing that Kesha is telling you to give him a pass. But when you're with a black man, they're telling you to break up with him. Don't be under his leadership. Don't listen to him. Don't follow instructions. Don't be cooperative with him. But when Brad, they're telling you to work with him, even though he's racist. Let's go.
From this conversation said something. A dark-skinned black woman said, and yeah, this is what happens when women like us are told to invest in struggle love. Now, this isn't for you to do, by the way. Candice at 33 has so much empathy and forgiveness and love for Candice at 23. And that's why a 33-year-old Candice can pick up her phone and share these stories, because I have had to reconcile with myself and hug myself and love upon myself and look back and go, girl, you were so stupid. And not just you were stupid, but also the advice around you was coming from a place of lack and coming from a place of fear. So I don't even want to turn around and say that the women that told me these things were stupid. We can only give what we've got. We can only speak from where we are at. Looking back, I absolutely should have not remained friends with that man. For what? For what? But it's something that came up in that comment section a lot. I wish I could go back and turn back the hands of time. But 23-year-old Candice had not even no self-esteem. Self-esteem in the minus. Didn't feel this way about herself. Wasn't so confident or passionate about her own life. And was so desperate to...
We don't believe none of that. You had no self-esteem, right? But you had enough to look at black men and say, nah, you're not it. You had enough to look down at black men. You had enough to look down at black men and look up to racist Brad. You had enough self-esteem to do that. So we don't want it. We don't believe none. It ain't the self-esteem. You saw his skin tone, right? And you went crazy. You saw his skin color. You went crazy. That's all. He was interested in you and you felt weak in the knees because it's a Brad. The funny thing is when they get older, this is what I be trying to tell brothers about the reach back. When they get older, they see, oh, Brad ain't checking for them. Brad ain't trying to take him home. Brad is embarrassed by them, actually. So what do they do? What do they do, black men? Oh, they try to do the reach back. Oh, what happened? Oh, you was silly. Oh, you didn't know your worth. Oh, you ain't have no self-esteem. Save it. Save all that. Save all that. Because the black men that you dissed when you was in your 20s and they was in their 20s, they didn't care what you had. They didn't care, where you were going in life. They wanted to date you because they wanted black women. And what did you do? You looked down at them. You told them no. You told them it's a no. And you did it because of him being a black man. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. That's really what it is. You went and got with a Brad. He called you everything in the book that he can think of. And you were around Kesha's telling you to go back, deal with it, still be friends. And you know what friends mean. You know what friends mean? Still get taken on Tizzy tours. And now the tennis ball wants to reach back. No.
To be loved, that anyone would fit the bill. Now, if you want to judge or mock or hate because of that, that's fine, but that means these stories aren't for you. I am only speaking to share these quite traumatic moments with other women who are going through the same kind of forest or who understand what I'm going through. So yeah, and I am weird. Thank you.
Yeah, you're weird. Yeah. Who does that? Who does that? These stories are rampant with these Keshas. They get calling the N-word every time you turn around. A Kesha talks about being with a Brad. You ask a Kesha, hey Kesha, have Brad ever called you the N-word or any slurs, anything? Have you oh yeah, he did. Really? And you still with him? Oh, it was only out of anger. Have you ever said anything while he was taking you on the Tizzy tour? Any? Oh yes, yes he have, and I thought it was weird. That's what they say. She thought it was weird. But let it continue. You brothers need to learn, and the best way of learning is being in this space, because if you learning the hard way is such a bad way to learn, man. It's such a terrible way to learn because it means that you're going to lose something. Learning the hard way is not like learning the hard way anywhere else when it comes to Kesha. Learning the hard way means you might end up getting sent to the upper room. She might end up lying on you and you going under the jail. Learning the hard way means that, she's getting you for, everything you got. You got married to her, and now she wants everything you build, half the house, the whole house, bank accounts. She didn't contribute to any of these, and she wanted. Oh, you can't see your kids? That's learning the hard way, man. That's learning the hard way. I don't know, man. You could tell brothers till you blue in I could tell y'all till I'm blue in the face. Some brothers, I came to the conclusion that, hey, we can't save them all. Black men, we just can't. But the ones that are listening, they're definitely going to be saved from this madness. You don't see it's always a collective of Keshas in these relationships. You don't see a collective of black men with Becky calling them the N-word. You don't see a collective of that. You don't. Because black men wouldn't tolerate that at all. Becky say anything like that, she's out the door. Kesha, Brad say that, they trying to stay with him. Maybe that's the reason why they want to stay with him. Maybe they like him even more when they do that. Maybe that's what makes them more attractive. Brad becomes more attractive when he talks to them like that. Maybe that's what it is. What do you think?